Now, Vitek, before we get to this crematorium, the remains of which we see right here, an actual crematorium, how long did it take for the Zyklon B, for the prisoners to succumb and die when this gas was released?
Usually that took about 20 minutes. So like I said, it took about 20 minutes to kill 2,000 people who were just packed in that one room, which was the gas chamber number 2.
Gasping for life, a horrible, painful death.
Slow and painful death. And, you know, just because of the heat which was made inside by the overcrowding such a large number of people there, the Zyklon B gas started to evaporate from these crystals, pellets, causing death by internal suffocation.
A horrible way to die. There's bodies everywhere, on the ground, 2,000 bodies perhaps. Then what happens?
Then that room, which was the gas chamber, was opened, ventilated by the Nazis for about half an hour. After that time, prisoners from a special group called Sonderkommando were let in.
Okay.
These were the prisoners who always had to empty the gas chambers and cremate the bodies.
Which means they would end up here, as everyone at home sees the remains of the crematorium. What was inside this building when it was once operational?
There were 5 big ovens working here, and these ovens, the Nazis were burning those victims' corpses. And the 5 ovens working here, they could burn just approximately 1,500 corpses in about 24 hours.
And you had the chimneys and the flames above these crematoriums at all times.
That's right.
And these Sonderkommandos who you described, Vitek, these were usually Jews being forced by the Nazis to cremate their fellow Jews.
That's right, strong and healthy men selected by the SS just once upon their arrival, taken to this part of Birkenau. They were always isolated from the rest of the prisoners here. And the contact between the Sonderkommando and the other prisoners was forbidden here. And those were the prisoners who were usually eliminated by the SS, usually sometimes after 3-4 months, sometimes after a year. They were taking those prisoners who were in the Sonderkommando.
And why did they kill them?
Because these were the prisoners who worked here.
These were witnesses to the Nazis' crimes.
Indeed.
So they had to kill them, get rid of them, and then you bring a new batch in and kill them after 3-4 months, and the cycle of death goes on. Vitek, we see that this place is now rubble. The gas chambers, the crematorium. How did this all end? Mercifully, how did this Nazi killing machine here at Auschwitz, the gas chambers, how did it all end? Who destroyed it? It was clearly leveled. And why did they destroy it?
The Nazis were the ones who destroyed these buildings. They actually dynamited 3 or 4 big gas chambers working here. Number 2, number 3, number 5.
Wow.
This one was dynamited by them only 7 days before the Russian army came here and liberated Auschwitz.
And the Nazis did this to cover up their crimes.
Exactly. They just started to do this just a few months before the Soviet soldiers came here. They dismantled ovens, which were in this crematoria, and they sent these parts of these ovens to Germany. So at the time when they were dynamiting these buildings, they were just an empty inside. The last gas chamber number 5, they dynamited only 1 day before the Soviet army came here.
What did the Soviets find when they came here? How many people were left here?
The Soviet soldiers liberated in total here something like 7,000 prisoners. They liberated only these prisoners who were ill, who were dying, who were unable to walk on their own, the ones who the Nazis left here behind. This is where they were cremating the bodies. Then human ashes the Nazis were using as a fertilizer in this camp. Sometimes they were dumping those ashes into nearby rivers, lakes, or into the ponds like these two.
The remains of innocent men, women, and children, the ashes, just disposed of and discarded like they were animals.
That's right.
Here's the good news, Vitek, and we thank you so much.
Thank you, Erick.
Yeah, it's very difficult subject matter. I would say you're doing God's work. You're doing this for a living. You're here at Auschwitz every day. We thank you for what you're doing. And you know, the interesting part about it is out of the ashes of this, out of the ashes of the Holocaust, the Jewish people rose once again. An amazing, miraculous story. And after the break, we'll have some final thoughts with one of those brave Jewish survivors of right here in Auschwitz. Irving Roth is back with us after the break. Do not move.